So you want to be a dungeon master?
So, you want a dungeon master.
So you want to be a DM?
Name some feats, okay? Feats.
So you want to be a DM?
That's great. We're here to help. I'm Taylor.
And I'm Justin.
Easy killer.
We've done this a million
We've
times.
done this, but never in the same room. This is crazy. What's
And
up,
you're
gang?
welcome.
Yeah.
Hello, gang.
Hey, everybody.
This week, we're taking it easy and breezy down by the beach. Sometimes you need to take a break from the dragon slaying, the dungeon crawling, and you just gotta relax. But you also don't want to overdo it. I mean, we've all had vacations where you're stressful, you get home, you need another vacation. So, how do we find that sweet spot? Well, we're covering everything there is to know about beach episodes. So let's jump into it.
Let's do it.
But first, we actually just got back from our own beach episode. I know. We spent a whole week doing a little vacation for ourselves. Now, there was a lot of fun times. There were so many interesting moments and lovely games and activities and moments. I've said moments 7 times now.
Yeah.
What was your favorite moment? Or one of?
One of the favorite moments. Definitely getting to sit down and play Smash with everybody. That was a lot of
Super
fun.
Smash Bros. Yeah.
The pool table, we had the pool table down there playing it so much pool. I had a blast doing that. Yeah, and just vibes. The fucking vibes there were immaculate.
It was
all
so
weekend.
fun. It was so
all
fun.
week. It was a whole week.
I know,
It's
and
crazy.
so many good people hanging out with us, and everybody's like personalities melded in such a way that is rare. I find.
Yeah.
Right. Like
Yeah.
a house of that many people. The fact that, it was perfect. For me, I'm gonna go specifically. I loved playing Flip 7. With
Oh
everybody.
yeah, that was so much fun. Yeah.
Flip 7
Flip 7
was a blast.
We're gonna need to find a virtual way to do that.
We
with
have to. We
friends.
simply must. We
Yeah.
should reach out to OP Games.
Yeah.
Because I think I've spoken to, I want to say their name is Ivy, and I've spoken to them before. But without further ado, actually bringing up the pool table and playing pool and stuff like that, the Patreon, there's a magic item coming out, gang.
Oh yeah.
Based on Taylor's proficiency at the pool.
Even though I lost, but it is what it is.
I got the 8-ball in immediately. It was
yeah,
so frustrating.
Yeah, no, I got mine in as I was about to win the game.
I know. What
It
is
was
worse?
Terrible.
Instantly
It was,
to where there's
no,
like,
no. I
you're
played.
like, oh, I didn't even get to
I
play.
played a perfect game and then I fucked it right at the end.
It's rough. There's that, and always a vacation house pool table. It comes with its own wibbly wobblies. You gotta learn it.
Yeah. It definitely
different.
was not a regulation APA table, and I'm pretty sure if I put a level on it, it would look like this.
Dude,
it would be all cattywampus.
So fun.
By the end, I kind of dialed it in, though. I mean, the last couple.
I
of
think
days,
everybody did. That was the
yeah,
problem.
Yeah.
Everybody was getting good.
Yeah. Maybe
Well,
we should have done it the first night.
I know.
No, I would have lost. I'd already
You
lost
still had
2
a
games.
life left.
I had a life left. Yeah.
I
would have been
Doing
fighting for.
weirdly well. I was a little sad that we didn't do it the first night because I was like, I have 4 already. I don't know why.
I felt
I don't know
shitty for
what's
the rest of
happening.
the night saying something. I was like, dude, we just got here. I'm not. It's been a long trip.
It was fun. It was so much fun. Okay, so go check out the Patreon.
Do it.
Cool magic items every week for free just by following us. And then all these other homebrew stuff that we're coming out with that will be improving our consistency of posting with that. I'm looking forward to that. So check out the Patreon, link in the description. Now, into the meat of the episode. We're talking about beach episodes.
Yeah.
What is a beach episode?
I think a beach episode is more vibes than anything because it doesn't necessarily need to be on a beach,
Controversial.
It's controversial. But a beach episode could also be like a shopping episode or a, go into the hot springs in a mountain or something along those lines. The prime thing that makes it a beach episode is the relaxation aspect. This is a respite from constantly being attacked all the
Mhm.
time. So it generally would be some kind of agreed upon like safe space kind of
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
maybe they make you check your weapons at the dock or something like that, so there's no weapons on the island. Or maybe they, you know there's some reason why people don't generally start fights. Maybe it's just a resort. I mean, that's the
That's a really
best
funny
way.
idea.
you know
That's a really funny idea. I think you're right. I think it's vibes.
yeah.
It's there is a semblance of safety, or like an understanding of safety,
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
an
yeah.
air of it, um, a presumption of
Mm,
safety. And then there's also just this idea of like rest and relaxation, respite, a break in between quests
yeah.
to be able to recharge. And so a beach is not necessary. I think that phrasing kind of comes from what, like,
It's all anime.
it's like anime
Yeah,
and
it's
like,
all from anime because that is like that's why it's a beach episode. It's this
yeah,
is just a
yeah,
filler. We got, we've just finished this big, really heavy story arc. Now we need a break.
and I know that sometimes beach episodes, especially in anime, longer animes, the phrase even filler episode, this
Mm,
idea that it just is like space.
right.
It's like fluff, it doesn't matter, and
Right,
it
right,
doesn't
right.
pertain to the main plot or anything. And I think while that's true, that's the balance that I was
Yeah,
referencing
yeah,
in the
yeah.
intro, is like you could overdo it to where the players will eventually be like, what is got like, can we have some action now?
Yeah, yeah,
Like,
yeah, yeah.
I've been researching for days.
So, right, right, right. And I think the way that you toe that line is to have there be stakes of some sort, whether
Mhm.
it be like a talent competition or some kind of thing that is, there are some stakes attached to it, but they aren't the mega earth-shattering, world-ending stakes that your party is generally used to.
That makes sense.
So I
Yeah.
think that definitely coming up with something to do other than just, okay, we're chilling on the beach. There's no possible way of any harm or anything like that. We're just chilling. Eventually that could get boring just from a player's aspect, because like again, there's nothing to do.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
That's one of the biggest things. Like when we were at the beach house, it was so windy. It was
Oh
so
god,
windy.
yeah.
It was like 30-mile-per-hour winds the whole time we were down there. So you go down to the beach and you get sandblasted. And it's like,
It was rough.
okay, it was rough. Luckily, there was a balcony we could sit on to get away from the sand bit. But again, it's still just buffeting winds all the
Oh my
time.
goodness.
But, I still feel like I had a really great time because we had stuff to do at the
Yeah.
house. We came up with things to do. We had, pool tournaments. We had Smash Brothers tournaments. We had we brought a bunch of game systems.
Yeah.
Like we had stuff to do.
Yeah. There was a macaroni and cheese competition.
There was we had a mac and cheese competition. Like, look, yeah.
Where
So
everybody won.
yeah, I feel that way. I feel like everybody came home a winner that night.
It was great. But
Yeah,
I agree. I think some kind of structure is definitely nice, especially for players who aren't, maybe because there are some players who you could give them like, hey, your character's gonna have a week of downtime,
Mhm.
chilling at this resort, and they'll come up with a week's worth of activities. And then there are other players who are gonna struggle
Yeah.
for that.
Yeah.
And that's why having there be little activities like this, even if it is something silly like a volleyball tournament,
Yeah.
and we'll get into that in greater detail later on of how that could work and how
Mhm.
that would maybe look. Is it 100% role play? What mechanics do you apply to volleyball?
Right, right, right.
Like, and how to figure shit like that out.
Mhm.
But why do beach episodes exist? What is their purpose? Now, there's the purpose in like an anime
Right.
of just straight up, sometimes it's the source material, we've passed it. And so now we have to figure out what to do
Yeah.
next. And
Right.
so it literally is just a logistical thing
Mhm.
and that's fair as for dungeon masters.
Yeah.
Take a little break for yourself. Hey gang, I got to figure out what the fuck we're doing next. I got to stat out the next couple of bad guys.
Right, right, right.
I got to find maps. I got to do this. I'm not ready.
Mhm.
Let's take a beach episode
Right.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's totally fine if it's a logistical reason for this beach
Right,
episode,
right.
just like it is in animation.
Mhm. Yeah. And I think it really does. It also helps your players kind of catch up and, you know, organize inventory, which sometimes can be an absolute bear. I know our party has a billion items that we have to keep track of.
On a spreadsheet.
Yeah, we have an Excel spreadsheet with a bunch of shit on it. But also, just kind of like these little things that your character likes to do. Like my character likes to go eat and find crazy good foods places. Like this
Yeah.
is a good time for that. A good time to go hunt out, just stuff that doesn't necessarily mean a lot in a story sense, except that, it's what your players do. Like it's downtime.
Yeah.
It's, yeah, it's,
When else are you gonna get that opportunity?
Right. Right,
Like if
exactly.
you're constantly going from dragon to dragon to dragon or whatever it is,
Right.
like does your character have a chance to kind of like key back into society or civilization or even just like whatever's important to them to
Right.
remind themselves of why they're doing this?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah,
Like that's
yeah.
so important sometimes. I just watched, this is gonna sound so fucking film bro of me, but like I just watched a little one of those like Watch Mojo or like Cineflix videos on YouTube
Right.
where they talked about the Eight Samurai movie, Kurosawa.
Okay, yeah.
And like how right before it's like violence, and then there's right before the main ending, super violent ending,
Right.
there's this like pretty intense scene of just light music and watching the rain fall and how the rain falls off the roofs and how it collects into different puddles and
Mhm.
also jars and different things and how the animals are drinking from the little puddles, and it's so peaceful.
Right.
And people were like, why did you, the momentum was going, why did you blah blah blah, and he was like, you have to remember what you're fighting for. Like, why does this violence matter?
Right.
Why is the violence even happening?
Right.
And it's because of the little things.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's sometimes what a beach episode can also provide, is just like a reminder of like, what is this all for?
Right. Yeah.
Love it.
I love it too. So if we are going to do this in a TTRPG, let's kind of talk about how we would do that. Kind of start getting into like the specifics of like.
Well, the first thing I would think of is when and how do I introduce a beach episode?
Mm-hmm.
Because obviously, if you're approaching the dragon's lair, you've been going through the dungeon, having the beach episode in the middle of a dungeon is a little interesting, although I suppose it's possible if it's a mega dungeon, but
yeah. I have seen that done sometimes where you kind of, and like, honestly, sometimes it happens to our party where we have to, a player is not going to be there and we're coming up on a climactic thing. It's like, you kind of just take a little flashback or something, take the party out of time for a minute and go to some of the periods of downtime. If you've had them, some parties are just, day 1 we're fighting rats, day 30 we're fighting the big bad. Like in just chronological, we've taken this amount of rests in that time.
Exactly.
And they're always doing stuff. But if you've got the, you can just kind of, again, just take it out of time. It doesn't necessarily have to, again, we're talking super low stakes. You don't want these to be world shattering stakes, but you do want them. So, it can be kind of just any point in time.
I agree. I think you could do it at any point in time. You could also, if you wanted to have the beach episode be in the like timeline, then I think you're just looking for the in-between period of 2 quests.
Right.
Of 2 like chapters of your story.
Mm-hmm.
So like, hey, this mini boss, this lieutenant of the big bad was just defeated.
Right.
Anytime that you're kind of like, oh, the players just did an awesome thing and you almost feel that inclination to celebrate.
Yeah.
Perfect time for a beach episode.
Yep.
Because then they can take that little respite. And then if you're the type of dungeon master where I do fall into this camp sometimes, if I'm not going to take it at a time, because that's much easier for like kind of retroactively figuring out why this works and why there isn't impending doom or something,
Mhm.
I do have to figure out, like, how do they have the time to do this? Because I've already, like, for example, where you guys are currently in
Right.
Sword Coast Coup, the stakes are so high all the time.
Yeah. Yeah.
When would I fit in a beach episode? It's a little challenging.
Mhm.
The only way that I was able to even fit in you guys going to the Shadowfell was for me to have the Raven Queen get involved and low-key stop time.
Right.
So, like, I would have to figure out some kind of similar thing. Like, maybe or I would have to have an authority figure so
Mhm.
high to suggest a beach episode to your characters that you take the advice.
Yeah.
If I have, like, your deities, somehow they have a group dream, all of you are there. Council of shadowy figures with clocks on the walls from all around the world, like a shadow organization, and it's just deities. And Cord, Raven Queen, Denier, the god of knowledge, Vez, the fucking unicorn. All of them are there, and they're like, you guys got to take a break.
You're right. Like, okay.
You guys have been working your asses off, and you're burning the candle from both ends.
All right,
Like, I think
we're gonna stop time because OSHA says you need for every 15 days of adventuring, you would need at least 4 days of downtime.
that's what I
Listen,
mean.
the labor board's getting after our asses. You have to take a break.
So, like, I think that's kind of when I would put it in.
Right.
And then in terms of what makes it like, the context of it being in a tabletop game, whether it's D&D, Kids on Bikes, whatever it may be, I think is incorporating mechanics.
Yeah.
In one way, shape, or form. Whether that's something like crafting, research, ritual spells, maybe there's spells that you're preparing, maybe it's gathering spell components, maybe it's like putting in little tiny role play details to set up your character's leveling up process. Like, here's how I got the things I'm about to get.
Right.
The power-ups or whatever. So, like, what are some possible activities? Let's get into those now. What are the things that one could do at a beach episode?
Yeah. For the nerds, I guess you could read a book and do some research.
Good.
I also kind of lump in this would also be a good time to give your druid some aquatic wild shape forms because of the wording of wild shape. Obviously, it's your table, you do what you want. The wording of it is they have to come in contact with this beast of whatever type that they're trying to do. And a lot of them at a certain level, you are able to get creatures with swim speeds. And then, but on the other side of things is like, when do they actually get to see these creatures for real, like out in the open? And this would be a good place for them to do that kind of research.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it could be really fun for the druid to get some fish, get some seabirds,
fish, or like a otter or something like that, and like learn to play with the otters. Like, just like be like, oh shit, those otters look like they're having a great time. Check this out, bang! I'm an otter now. I'm doing otter things.
Oh yeah.
If I could do that, I would. If I could be an otter, I would be an otter.
That would be sick.
I
do think, yeah, reading books and doing research is so good because it is definitely an activity that can tie into the plot,
right,
to make the beach episode feel more relevant, just because presumably the characters are going to be researching things that are plot specific,
right,
or like NPC specific. It also gives you an opportunity, because research can mean so many things. Research can also tie into gathering information from an NPC. Not necessarily a solo downtime activity, but rather like having to reach out to contacts, and get research and information that way. So that gives you the opportunity to introduce some fun NPCs that are specific to the locale of that beach episode, wherever that may be. If it's a mountain lake town, or if it's
Yeah.
a actual beach.
Yeah. I mean,
Like,
surfer
do they have
bros.
lifeguards? Do they? Yeah. Do they have like hot
Yeah.
dog stand, like
Right,
or,
right,
or something
right.
like
Yeah.
people selling things on
Definitely.
the beach?
Definitely. Dude, bro.
Is
That's a
it
good
is
time
it
to
a
use some fun
touristy?
voices, right?
Yeah.
It's a good time for fun voices, depending on where you're at. You could go into the mountains and do the really fun little, hey, well, it's cold up there. Just do crazy hill people, because those are fun. Or go down to the beach and get the ditzy surfer bros.
Yeah. Oh, what's all dude? Fucking hard, brother. Yeah, dude. Yeah, that is so fun.
Yeah.
And then we also have crafting, which is another kind of mechanic forward way of doing things on downtime, which is just, I mean, there's bajillions of rules for crafting magical
Oh, yeah,
items when it comes to stuff like that, like what um, type of thing you're trying to craft. If it's crafting a magic item specifically, there's a lot of stuff involved just in magic item specific, not even including like armor, weapons of the
Yeah.
mundane variety or something like that,
Mhm.
or like uh
Yeah, it's perfect time to get yourself your fabricator friend to make you some
oh Jesus.
some mithril plate armor.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a great time for
Jeez Louise.
that.
But there's like all different kinds of stuff you can make. If you're trying to make magic items, specifically, it depends on what kind of tool set you have proficiency with, can help you make those different kinds of magic items. But
Mhm.
that's a really fun thing too, is I love having players pick up a new skill.
Yeah.
And like learning a new tool set.
Mhm.
I think downtime is perfect for that. I mean, like, how many people go on vacation and then they just casually are like learning how to knit or learning how to crochet or something like that.
Yeah.
I mean, we did a fucking Bob Ross painting thing.
Mhm.
Talk about activities.
Yeah,
Like, we had so many activities.
yeah.
Just picture 12 like adults in their 30s watching a Bob Ross video
Yeah.
and being like, this fucking guy.
How am I supposed to?
This doesn't look anything like that.
Yeah.
And you can blame it on our artistic skills or lack thereof, but when 12 people are having the same problem, I don't know, might be Bob Ross.
Could be Bob.
So,
Maybe
it
he's
can
a
be
bad
something like
teacher.
that. It's so fun. Cause like, to keep talking about painting,
Yeah.
I've had characters too where their downtime kind of thing is a little bit more role play heavy, where it is like their character does some sort of artistic thing,
Right.
like painting, and I'll be like, cool. So you get back to your apartment, because this isn't a Sphinx City thing,
Mhm.
and I was like, cool. You get back to your apartment. Are you doing anything before going to bed? And it's always just like, yeah, I'm gonna bring out my paints and stuff, and like it's to the point where it is role play, but
Mhm.
she always wants me to ask her for a roll for it to see how good it is, to see if she's
Right.
improving and if she can keep like bumping the skill and kind
Right.
of just adding. Because like in D&D there isn't, I mean, yes, of course there's painter's tools or whatever it's
Right.
called under here, or some kind of
Mhm.
artistic tool set,
Right.
but we're kind of making that shit up most of the time, where it's just you're figuring out different DCs for things.
Mhm.
Speaking of which, when it comes to learning a new skill, learning a new language, learning a new tool set,
Yeah.
proficiency, even depending on how lax you want to be with things,
Right.
I would say what I do is I usually, in my brain, I almost always set the DC to 15.
I think
I feel like it's
that's
just a safe
yeah.
bet, depending on if you're putting in the time. And then you have to get 3 successes.
Mhm.
And you're only allowed to do 1 check per like long rest or whatever. You
Yeah.
can't train like a million things, right? Like you can only train one thing.
Yeah. I think if it, I guess it depends on the time frame of this kind of beach episode downtime segment.
Mhm.
I think if they're going to spend their time doing nothing but that, maybe they're going, I'll allow them to make multiple checks during this whole downtime period.
Yeah. If it were a week thing, then I absolutely.
Yeah.
That's why I say like only like 1 per long rest kind
That's
of vibe of like
fair. Yeah.
you're only making the check for 1 day.
Right.
And I don't necessarily like, I don't want people to be like, okay, on this 7-day vacation, I train these 5 skills.
Right.
And it's like, technically, is that allowed? Maybe, but eventually it gets to a point where you're like,
Mm-hmm.
okay, are we rolling for every 24 hours? You're doing a million.
Right.
We're going through literally every single tiny thing that you did this trip, or are we kind of like, okay,
Right.
roll 3 times. If you get all 3 successes, you learn the new skill.
Mm-hmm.
If you get 3 failures, you did not learn that new skill. That sucks. But like, it is what it is. You can always try again. Like,
Mhm.
it's not like it's off the table forever. I don't
Right.
handle it that way necessarily. It's just okay. And so you can go by the book
Mhm.
for things like crafting, or they also have rules for all the bastion possibilities
Right.
on a beach episode, because that would then imply uh maybe less beach episode, only in the sense of you're really at home, which I guess is like possible for the vibes and everything.
Right.
It's
No,
just
but
like
beach episode implies vacation.
a
Implies
little
not
bit. Yeah,
this is
there's
not
something novel.
Yeah. Whether it be an actual beach, again, hot springs, some kind of resort area of some sort.
Yeah.
Somewhere where your players or your characters would not normally be.
Most
Or,
of the time.
maybe they'll be passing through or something. Maybe it's on the way from in between quests. You're going from one place to another. Hey, by the way, you're going to pass through this big resort town. Here's what's going on.
Here's the beach.
Here, have a beach.
And so the Bastion gives you a lot of opportunities to do a million different actions if that
Mhm.
is something that happens. Or crafting has all different kinds of rules, and you can do them by the book. Like, I'm just looking up now, magic items. To make an uncommon magic item
Yeah,
is 10 days, 8 hours a day,
crazy.
and 200 gold pieces.
Right.
So, like, that is a lot.
Hmm.
That's your whole trip. You're not doing anything but working on this magic item.
Right.
And as coming from somebody who had to do a little bit of editing during the trip, it was manageable because it was just a little bit of editing.
Right.
But if I had to do it the whole trip, I would have been super bummed and like not really
Yeah.
enjoyed the trip as much. So
Yeah.
that's how that goes. So figure out how to do crafting and stuff like that at your table. Discuss it. This should be something that you discuss early on, but it may
Yeah.
be something that
It
falls through the
hasn't come up.
cracks.
Yeah.
And so bring it up when it comes up and discuss and agree amongst the table. How do we want to handle crafting?
Right.
Do we want to go by the book, or do we want to hand wave some things? Do we want to just have everything? Maybe instead of 10 days, it's just 5 days.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Whatever. So figure that out, because crafting can be complicated, and also like depending on the
Mhm.
length of your missions and campaign,
Yeah. And I
it can be
honestly,
impossible.
yeah, I think that this is a good place to ask for your crafting checks, and maybe your crafting checks affect how long the process takes.
Oh
You know what I'm
yeah,
saying?
for
Like,
sure.
you roll a 20, dang, you just knock 4 days off of your production cycle.
For sure, exactly. That's why I like to handle crafting in the sense of like, hey, okay, you're making a crafting check. What are you trying to make? Oh, I'm trying to make this potion. Okay, cool. Make the check. I crushed it. Cool, you made 2 or 3 of them.
Right.
Oh, you didn't do so good. You either, if depending on how badly you rolled, you either didn't make anything,
Right.
or and like wasted the materials, or you made something, put an asterisk next to it. Right? Wild magic surge or some shit, or it
Yeah.
explodes or whatever, Who knows?
Who knows?
So then the next thing that
Have
I
fun.
think
Go nuts.
the next thing I think downtime can be really good for, and this can be represented both mechanically through spells like, is that the doorbell?
Yes, it was.
Interesting. The through things like sending, dream, message, although that's pretty short fucking range.
Yeah.
But things like that, scry even,
Hmm.
forms of communication, divination.
Yeah.
What are the other ones, like commune?
Commune. Yeah.
I've never heard of it. I've only heard of commune.
Right. Yeah.
Where you summon a bunch of friends.
Right. And you guys.
And then they're your family.
Right.
And then they're all your sister wives. So
Ooh.
then, the other thing that communication can pathway that it can be done is just role play.
Yeah.
I think it's a really fun opportunity for players to get to know one another, or their characters rather, but like to get to know one another, to kind of have those little fireside chats. And I think that could be really cool. I like for that to happen.
Yeah.
Like I always wish, like anytime that there's a watch, like you guys are resting at a campsite in the woods in between here and there. Anytime that there's like who's taking watch? I always dream that there's two people will take watch and they'll talk for a little bit.
Oh yeah.
That's all I want.
Yeah.
Just a little bit of chatter between the two people who are on watch. And then maybe something happens, maybe something doesn't. Because most of the time, nothing's going to happen. It's just a bunch of meaningless perception checks. Unless somebody rolls a 1 and then I feel obligated to throw a fucking, you know,
you gotta do
something or other.
Yeah, something's got to happen.
I'm throwing a frost salamander at you guys or some shit. So I do love just communication in general. I love the opportunity because the stakes aren't high. We can talk about different things. There are some times when you're at the belly of a fucking giant whale where you're like, now's not the time to talk about your feelings for me, Janet. You know what I mean? Like, so the beach episode allows for those types of topics sometimes, if that's, you know, something your game's doing.
Yeah.
So I like that a lot.
I do too. And the kind of like the last thing, and we've been touching on it here and there, is like doing just low stakes stuff, games, competitions, giving your person who's been sitting on their dragon chest set for the whole game and never used it. Bang, this is perfect time to play some dragon chess.
You did get to play chess when we were there. I was jealous. I wanted to play, but you and Dale kept playing.
Oh shit.
Didn't even ask me.
I'm sorry. You should have asked me. There was like 4 or 5 days when we did nothing on that table. You should have said something.
I can't.
Anyway. So yeah, this is a perfect time to do that. If you've got a big muscly muscle boy, this is a good time to do like a bodybuilding competition or something like that. This would be a great time to do some kind of like Ninja Warrior style, like, you know,
or
they
like
do
an
that.
Iron Man.
Yeah, Iron Man, or like a I'm thinking like the, you know,
Tough
for
Mudder.
like the month, for like the month, or like a Spartan run.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Think full
Something
of
like
ice. These are
that.
cold
Doing
plunge.
like the I know in like the American Ninja Warrior or whatever, they have like these little pop-up courses that they just take around and pop them up, and it's like, bang, let's do a Ninja Warrior course, something like that. Yeah,
you could do mini golf. You could do volleyball has been mentioned, or any sport on the beach.
Yeah,
and this is all just specific to beaches. You obviously could do a million other things based on whatever the locale is like.
Yeah.
And depending on the setting in terms of like time period, like technology, because like, hey, you could do jet skis if jet skis exist, or you could find a magical fucking reason for it to exist. Whatever.
Yeah,
man. They got fucking jet skis in One Piece. Like, whatever, man. They also have guns and shit, and like snail phones.
Jet skis in One Piece?
It comes up in the anime.
Okay.
It's like an equivalency.
I'll take your word for it. All right. Yeah.
It's like a 1 or 2 person aquatic thing. So it's like very similar. But anyway.
Right on.
But then how do we, so then there's, obviously you could just in theory go full role play. Right? With any of these.
Yeah.
Just describe the volleyball game. How does it go down? Whatever. But you could also make a mechanic for it, or like have there be a series of roles to represent the volleyball game or the bodybuilding competition or whatever it is. How do you start? Like, where does your brain go when it's like, okay, here's the game. How do I put dice? How do I assign dice to it?
Right.
What do I have the players roll?
Yeah, so I mean, it's gonna depend on the game, but I mean, there are worlds where if you're all sitting at the same table, you could actually do a game of like blackjack or something along those lines. You could use some kind of a novel way to do it other than just rolling the dice.
Yeah.
Or, you know, you could come up with a static, my strength build. If we're doing like the bodybuilding competition, I'm gonna have a guy who's a strength build, just say a +3 athletics or something like that, +4 whatever. Make it level appropriate, and then do like a roll off. Like okay, yeah, you're barbarian. Okay, I'm gonna go into a rage and do my barbarian athletics check or whatever, and then have your person maybe also a barbarian, maybe also with a little rage, throw it back and forth. But yeah, I think that a lot of times for stuff like this, when it's low stakes, I like to do the roll offs just for setting DC purposes, because I think it's the most fair way of doing it rather than just shouting out a DC. Depending on what it is. If it's one of those like the giant hammer bell things, that's a set, you got to hit a 18 and you ring the bell type of deal.
Yep.
So I mean, it really depends on the game, but I think just using the thought process of 10 is average, 15 is above average, and 20 is inhuman, like setting your DC somewhere in that range is pretty. I think you can come up with DCs like that for stuff like that.
You just feel it out.
Yeah.
And the more you play with those players, with those characters, you'll start to learn like the kind of ranges that they can hit most on average, at least. Like I know that the character of Sunny, any intelligence check, she's getting a 20 plus.
Right.
Like hands down. It's gonna happen. So yeah, I think when it's a game that's truly just like two opposing sides, whether it's an arm wrestling, pie eating, anything like that, then it's really just roll offs of some of some kind. And then which skill you put involved depends on the competition. If it's eating, sometimes I'll do Constitution, either check or saving throw. If it's strength based, you do strength or athletics. If it's dexterity based, you either just do dexterity or one of the skills that make the most sense. It's very easy.
Yeah.
You can make it as complicated as you would like to. You can fucking find TTRPGs that are volleyball based. There's got to be a high Q fucking thing out there.
Yeah.
You'll find it if you want to. Or like Taylor was mentioning, you can incorporate a different mechanic if you're in person or something like that. You could break out a game of Jackbox and fucking, if you're virtual, you can break out a game of Jackbox, play a couple rounds of fucking Fibbage.
Right.
That person wins the card game because they're so good at lying.
Yeah.
Or bring out a Jenga tower, and that represents your volleyball game.
Right.
Where it's
you could, this is perfect. Would be a perfect time to do some kind of novel game within a game type
chance
deal.
Mechanic. Yeah. A lot of fun. Play a game of bingo.
Yeah.
Figure it out. So I think that's a lot of fun. I also think that there are some interesting challenges that you could have the party face while on their beach episode. If things start to get stale, you can always have them in your back pocket.
Yeah.
That would include, to me, maybe some conflict.
Sure.
Maybe it's the weather. Maybe it's very windy. Maybe it rains on one day.
Right.
Something to that effect.
Right.
What if it's a flash flood? You know what I mean? Like you could just continually raising the stakes.
Yeah, for
These
sure.
are all things I think it's nice. And we're about to get into the absolute antithesis of beach episodes, which is to incorporate combat into them.
Right.
But I do think it really depends on this is the beauty of DMing, is like you can have this stuff in your arsenal, in your prep, and never need it.
Right.
Or use it.
Right.
But it's there in case you do
exactly.
need it.
It's just
so
in
it's
the
like
toolbox.
Having things like that.
Yeah.
Like if things start to hit a point where the players are talking less, you can tell that the role play, the novelty of the beach episode is starting to wane. Boom. A massive thunderstorm breaks off. There's huge waves crashing into the fucking pier, and you're seeing You can incorporate something that isn't even combat, but it's mechanic specific. There's somebody at sea going, and the lifeguards are like, It's too far out.
Right.
Or it's
Yeah.
the same lifeguard from before going, oh no, dude, fucking, oh man.
Oh,
Oh, my shift just ended, dude.
dang. I'd love to go help that guy.
Can you guys get him?
Right.
He's,
Right. Yeah.
he's
yeah,
gonna like totally die.
yeah. Right.
So like that's something that you could do.
Mhm.
You can incorporate conflict. Maybe the beach house that they're at has like some hidden discrepancies. You know what I mean? Like there's booby traps that the owners forgot to undo before the party got it. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like
Right.
the
The
fucking back
Airbnb.
door.
Yeah. Oh my
With
gosh.
the
Yeah.
alarm that we had
Yeah.
to undo.
It's
Or whatever.
crazy.
Things like that. The
Mhm.
beds weren't great. You can incorporate things like that,
Yeah.
kind of,
Yeah.
especially if you've done a couple beach episodes.
hmm
Maybe there's a beach episode where truly the resort is not all it's cracked up to be.
Right.
Like it seems beautiful, and then
Oh
you're
my
like,
gosh.
oh my
We
god,
paid
these are
200 gold to stay here.
yeah, that could be really
Right.
interesting.
Right.
Maybe it's all a trap. Maybe it's a
Ooh,
fucking
yeah.
oasis kind of vibe where it's
Uh-huh.
like this beautiful a resort and everything, and it's all just anglerfish.
Right.
It's a lure to
Right.
bring the party in,
Right.
being
Right.
like,
Right.
I know they're gonna need rest, and then it becomes fucking that. What's that Odysseus thing? The lotus eaters or whatever,
Oh
where
yeah.
they eat the plant and it makes them forget, like
hmm
Percy Jackson.
hmm Yeah.
I'm trying to think of other, and then you could have just have like not necessarily inter-party conflict, because that would come from the players if they so chose to
Right.
have this be a moment of communicating some shit if there
Mhm.
was like unsettled business that needed to be discussed, which could be
Right.
awesome. This would be a perfect time for players to take the spotlight and run with some shit if they had it.
Right.
But you could also introduce like NPCs and have this be a moment where a character's brother, mother, father comes into the picture. Their ex-lover comes, like, is like also on vacation at the neighboring beach house.
Right.
Just something crazy like that. You're at the local donut shop and there walks in like, you're like, what are you doing here?
Mhm.
I'm on vacation. I'm on vacation. Not at 8031. Not at this address, are you? No, I'm at 32. Oh no.
God. Yeah.
So then it leads us to this question that we've all been wondering.
hmm
Does a beach episode have to be all fun and games?
No, I don't think so.
And that's the end of the episode.
Yep, and that's it. Yep. Depends. No, it depends. No.
Speaking of which, no, just
easy,
kidding.
killer. Dang.
Just like, they sent me a sample.
Okay. That's for you. So yeah. Does a beach episode have to be all fun and games? No. I think that this is also a good way to, if your party likes this, likes the actual mechanics of combat, then this is a good time to add in a low stakes combat. A creature that you wouldn't necessarily come across in the normal writing of the story, or the normal locations and stuff that you're used to fighting in.
Mhm.
If so, it's not undead servants of a dark lord. It's just like a kaiju of some sort.
Yeah.
Like some kind of large beast is rampaging through this town and they gotta help.
Yeah, it doesn't need to be connected to the plot or the BBEG. It can be completely independent
Right.
and just a fun change of pace. Maybe it has an interesting ability or an interesting like story or like essence about like, oh, it's an aberration, how crazy, or
Yeah.
maybe it could also be something that's like very subtle foreshadowing of like, oh, it's from the fire plane, and that ends up coming up way later. Like you're planning for the players to go to the fire plane way later. This is their first little instance of it, and it seems completely random, but actually you're planning on that. Could be something like that. It could also be the BBEG just sending assassins because they're fucking chilling.
Yeah.
That could be it too. And you could set that up in a crazy way where maybe they're part of the staff at the place.
Yeah.
Again, going back to the like
going through
the trap idea.
Yeah. Of like, you're in this resort, but something just doesn't seem right. Everybody's just a little too friendly, a little too accommodating.
Yeah, right. And
And
then one
then-
of them drops like they're like you never told them your name, and they just drop it at one point or
Right,
something
right.
like that. They're like, "Yeah, Kaladin Stormblast, who also went to the Shadowfell one time." Oh fuck!
right, right.
That would be an extreme example, but
Yeah.
I think that could be really interesting.
Mhm.
Speaking of this idea of like everyone's too friendly and stuff, it started making me think of The Shining.
Oh yeah.
Like they're in the hotel is like
Mhm.
what is kind of
Yeah.
coming after them, just
Yeah.
the vibes of the whole place.
Mhm.
That could be
It'd be
really,
great for that.
Yeah, they're
So,
the only ones
Could be
there.
a combination beach and horror episode. It's up to you. Whatever your party wants. But
That's actually really cool.
Mhm.
I actually love that idea.
okay, fair enough. Yeah.
Oh
But
man,
yeah,
dude, a mountain house.
cabin. Just do a cabin in the woods situation.
Woo! That's fun. That's fun. Totally secluded.
Yeah.
But yeah, all different kinds of monsters you can incorporate. They can be specific to the setting. So if you're on the actual beach, maybe it is just like a straight up fucking water monster,
Right.
whatever. You could be something completely novel, like a fire plane opens up, like that example, and fire monsters come through, and that's interesting. Maybe the players go into the water to be safe, and they're like fighting from the water, shooting up at the beach because that's where the fire monsters are, because
Right.
they're not coming in. Maybe I don't know.
Who
It could
knows?
be interesting.
Yeah.
You can even incorporate like fucking surfboards and paddle boards and
Oh,
shit
that'd
like
be
that,
rad.
and have
Yeah.
the little thing be there. I don't know. So many things. Scuba
Surfing
diving,
competition.
snorkeling.
Yeah.
So many water activities and stuff that you could do.
Surfing
And that's
competition gone wrong.
hell yeah, dude. Freaking reefs and shit, powerful waves. Anything is possible. Horseshoe crabs, don't trust them. But here we're going to be trying, this is pretty much the end of the episode. So now we're going to be trying a new segment called Monster of the Week.
Yeah.
So in 2008,
Mhm.
on the shores of Montauk in Long Island, there washed ashore a clump of freaking like flesh that just looked mammalian enough for them to call it the Montauk Monster, or Mountie, I think, which is stupid. That's a terrible nickname.
Yeah.
And this thing looks like, if you gang, with warning, I urge you to maybe think about Googling the Montauk Monster.
Mhm.
It looks like a hairless capybara that's been twisted by the ocean. It's a freak of nature.
Yeah.
But think about that. Your players are on a beach episode and something strange washes on shore. It's not alive. It's not a combat. It's just a break in reality where you go, what the fuck is that? It defies all logic that I know of. I've never seen anything like it. Boom. Of Nether Quest. You're welcome.
Yeah. And that's all we can get into this time. You can find us on TikTok and Instagram at So You Want to Be a DM, or you can ask us a question at soyouwantobeadm@gmail.com. If you like the episode, don't forget to give us 5 stars and a review wherever you found us, and check out the Patreon, our Twitch, and the merch with the link in the description. Join us next time for more Dungeon Master tips and tricks.
Bye.
See ya.
Hey gang, it's Justin. I have the honor of giving a shout out to the members of our Patreon gang. Nubmuffins, may Palor's light shine upon you. Marsavies, have you watered your flesh prison lately? Yazvi, the eternal library where color and community await you. Molly Adeza, who gets yet another level up. And there's Elijah, Tappy, and Linguini. Gang, we appreciate and love you. Tune in next time for more tips and tricks from So You Wanna Be a DM.